yeah, in the previous problem, we did a radial survey where we used the bearings and distances and the elevation changes to plot the points and then generate the map from that, right? In problem 8.5, it does a grid survey, which means they survey in a grid pattern. So in this case, the points are 150 feet apart. So they're doing a much larger area, apparently. And taking a lot more points, though, as well. So, yeah, how are we going to manage this data? So they do it by rows and columns, obviously, and so that lends itself well to a spreadsheet, I suppose. But there's several ways to do that. I think well, okay, let's just talk about the ways we could do it. We could put it into a spreadsheet. The only problem with that is that 0 on the left, on the vertical, in the grid pattern, it starts at the top, right? So we have to sort of invert that or something. And so that doesn't mesh well with like plotting the points in ArcGIS because it would be upside down. It would be flipped. So you'd have to consider that, I guess. And then left to right, you have A, B, C, D, you know, all the way to I. And then you have these points with their elevations, right? That's what the grid looks like. So and then you would just put it into a spreadsheet, plot the points. You'd get a northing and easting for each one of these, and then you'd have the points in there. I think it would be, I don't know, I haven't done it this way, but I think it'd be pretty easy to draw this in Autocad and then import it. Oh, you know what? It even has, it's already drawn for you. So let's just open it up in AutoCAD. That's probably the fastest way to get going on it. Yeah, I'm looking on page 262 and 263. 262 is at the bottom of the page is the problem, and 263 is the figure.
Oh, 8.5?
Yeah, problem, yeah, 8.5. So, here we go. Share the screen. I'm pretty sure it's on the server. If not, I'll make sure it is, but let's open it up and see what we get. So the Autodesk server. Yeah, it's on there. So the first thing I would do is open this thing up and then save it to your own H drive. It's the problem 8-5 drawing. And then it'll have some proxy information. We don't need any proxy graphics, so just okay that. Okay, so this is just what you see in the book. So easy peasy. Did everybody find it?
Easy attach. Should be under attach.
No, just open it. It's an AutoCAD file. So right after you open it, yeah, go ahead and save as, right? Before we do anything to it. So save as and then put it on your H drive or somewhere more secure than the shared server. Just put it in my drawings. Actually, I should rename that. Okay, I think I remember where I put it. Okay, it's all drawn for you, great. Now what, right? So I want to be able to Well, what I don't want to do is have to do that interpolation thing, right? So I want to, between 558 and 543, find all the index or interval, intermediate contour lines, and then go on to the next point, next point, next point. There's like, that's a lot. So we could do that and it would take a while. But there's also, there's an extract data point. So we can export the attributes. So under, it's under Express Tools, I guess. It's got to be somewhere else too. Somewhere in here.
Did we import any layers? Because this one has bit points.
I don't think so. I think what we can do. Yeah, I think we're all right. So what I want to do is export the attributes. So each of these little points here is, what is this thing? Is that a point or is it a, it looks like it has an attribute with it. So, so control 1, let's take a look at it. This is a block reference. So every point is a block reference. Now, it doesn't matter actually, because it actually has a different Z position, which it should be 0, but, or 592, but it isn't, right? But it does have an attribute called elevation that I can use. So that's nice. So let's see what we can do with that. So yeah, under export attributes, let's see what we get. We'll set up the file name. It's just going to be a text file, I guess. Yeah, that's the only thing you can do. So I'm just going to put P8_5 PTS. I don't want any spaces or funky characters in it, in other words, so just do that. And then it says select objects. I really should have. Just for points, right?
Oh.
Or point traumatic stress.
And then save.
Yeah, and then you got to select all the points, right? Well, I don't really have to. Okay, fine. I could have used quick select if I was thinking ahead, but I didn't. So.
Says I saved it and select all of it, or what?
Yeah, you know what? Here, I'm going to hit escape. Let's just select all the points first and then do it. Oh, wouldn't that be easier? So I'm just going to use my, where is it? Utilities, quick select, or Q select, and select all the block references. There. Oh, but not these ones. Okay, hold the shift key. Get rid of those guys. That should work. Oh, wait, up here too. Shift. There.
Group select?
Just the points.
Quick
But
select?
yeah, but block reference doesn't quite cut it. So I just used the shift and I got rid of all the A, B, C, D, E, F, Gs and all that. And the station values along the left side. I deselect those guys. In other words, just get all the points selected. It is?
We're in 3D model and you're in home?
Oh,
Quick select?
change your workspace to 2D drafting and annotation. Just QS. Okay. And then, so pull that list level. Turn on the workspace. And then change it from 3D modeling to 2D drafting annotation. Okay. And then you got your quick select right above the measure. And then just choose the block reference. We should be looking at points, but all those points have been turned to blocks. So that's why. Okay, so with all those points selected, let's go back to our Express tools and export attributes. And again, I'll P8_5 PTS or something. Okay, it created the points too. I thought I could, that wasn't exactly what I wanted. What was, oh, extract data is what I want. Sorry. Let's just see what that file does. I mean, that was a new tool to me in the Express tools. That was kind of cool. I'm going to go to Notepad and open this file up and see what it does. And if it's usable, we can go ahead and use it. But I think I want the extract data rather than that. So we'll just see.
After you select all the points, do you export attributes?
Yeah, but don't bother with that because it doesn't look like it's going to be that good. It does have a list with the elevations, but it has like a handle, block name, and elevation. And I don't like the handle that much. And the block name being point, that doesn't help. So never mind. Okay. So again, let's try something else. Let's Q select the points again. Oh, I wonder what layer it should be on. Never mind. So what layer is that? Thin black. That's nice. What are these layers on? Thin black. Okay, never mind. So I'm just going to go back to quick select and then just do it the same way. So block reference and OK, and then holding the shift key down, taking out the labeling, which is on the same layer for crying out loud. Okay, and then I'm going to go to annotate. No, sorry, insert and extract data. This is the one I wanted to do, I think. So let's look at that. Is that all right? So sorry about bouncing around, but that was interesting. So we're going to create a new data extraction and next. And we're going to save it in a nice place. Okay. I think it's going to just do the objects I have selected. It wasn't immediately apparent, although it does give me a chance to select the objects. But I think if I leave it as in the drawing for the data source, then I don't have to select the objects, I think. But we'll see. We'll see. So back to what we want to extract. Here are the, what objects do I have? Well, it should be point. I don't need station or solid, which is a non-block. I don't know what that is, but I think I just want point. I might want that M text because that's an attribute. Or no, I guess I don't. And then line, I don't want the lines and I don't want the letters. The attribute definition and the points. That should do it. Let's see what that comes out. Perfect. So I don't need any of this stuff except, so, you know, no author, block unit, color, comments, constant, drawing revision, Edge style, elevation being the attribute. Yes, I do want that. Face style ID. I don't even know. You know, we don't need that. File. We don't need file stuff. Height would, and that's text height. Hyperlink, invisible keywords, layer, line type. Yep.
So all we need is just the elevation.
And getting to it, X and Y position. The Z position I don't want because that was weird. You know, we looked at that before. And then none of this other stuff. So.
Did you put a line type?
Nope.
Scale.
No line type?
Nope. See, what we're extracting is the X and Y and Z. But not the Z. See, it's not the Z position because that was incorrect. So I didn't do position Z. I did do the position X and position Y. And the only other thing is elevation as the attribute for the block because that's where the actual elevation that we're using is stored. So does that make sense? Okay, so those three things checked, and let's go next.
What about the one off to the right?
Oh, that's just the filter, what you see over there. I guess I really should have unchecked those. Anyway, that was a good discussion here. Okay, next. And then, oh, here we go. So I don't need the count column here. I don't need the name column, actually, because it's all point. And it looks like elevation's not in there, but, oh yeah, look at that. Oh, okay, so these are all the blocks, and only the ones with the elevation are the ones that I want. So can I take those out? No. Can I go back and take those out?
You take out the attribute to go back. You take out the attribute definition after.
Yeah, but I do need that attribute definition because that's where the elevations are for the points.
The elevation is still showing.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay, cool. There we go. Thank you. Wonder why. Huh.
No attributes?
Yeah, take them out. Thank you. So Noah figured out that back here, the attribute definition included the labels on the side and the top, apparently. And so without those, we just get the points, which is awesome. So there it is. That's all we want, X, Y, and Z right there.
Elevations from the position X, Y, and then
So yeah, just to make it easier, if you're in this, are you in this screen?
I thought you took off. Oh, it's still like that. I only had some of them.
Okay, well, okay, so I unchecked 3D visualization, drawing, general, and miscellaneous. So it just had geometry and the attribute, and I left elevation and position in an X and Y, and then next. And that's what I get. And I don't need the count column and the name column, although, yeah, I'll add my own column later for the other stuff that I want.
Elevations all supposed to be filled up?
Yeah.
It's not filled up on one.
Okay, so go back twice and uncheck attribute definition from,
Okay, that's right.
yeah. And so you just have point checked, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now go forward two more, right? And now it should just be the elevation markers. Yeah?
Yep.
All right. So there we go. Yeah, next. We don't want to insert the data. We want to output the data into an external CSV file. So where are we going to put it? Not here. Let's see. Go into the folder where I'm going to put it. I actually have a problem 8.5 folder that I want to use. And then I'm going to change it from, I'm going to put it right to a comma separated values file. It'd be totally what's great. And I'll rename it so no spaces or funky characters again. And I know where it's being saved, and save, and next, and finish. There we go. Done with AutoCAD. I'm so done with AutoCAD. No, okay. So there you go. I was hoping to just add points and add 1 point, put it into an array, right? 150 by 150 array, and then just, well, and then put the elevations or just change each one's elevation. But this is, and then export the data, but it's already done for you. So there you go. All right, so I'll save it one more time here and close it. Now we're ready for ArcGIS. Save it, and we'll go to ArcGIS Pro and put the points in. Let's see. So we'll make a new map. Are you caught up, Cambry? Are you okay? Really? Good job, wow. Nice. Start a new map. I'm gonna put the map in the same folder as my other stuff. I have a P8-5 folder here, so.
I got a question.
Uh-huh.
So how long is this user, is this like a student license to ArcGIS, or is it?
Oh, on campus here, it's we up it every year, so it's a year license really.
Oh.
For students, you get a year license also with that key. If you have it at home and you use the key I gave you, it should last a year.
Okay.
Yeah. And then next year, you know, if you want to take a GIS class, or whatever, and it's been over a year, you just use a different key. We'll have updated keys every year. So as long as you're going to school,
Yeah.
you should just keep going to school. Just kidding. You should not. Unless you really want to, I guess. All right. Okay, there's the folder.
Stay in school.
Yeah. I'm not going to create a new folder because I already have a folder named P8-5, so there we go. Bless you. Ooh, I already have a project named that? Okay. Yay. Okie doke. First step. Oh, and in this file, I already moved all the points to be in the same place as the New Mexico West coordinate system. So it's already, if you looked at the numbers, those numbers were in the 2,600,000. Yeah, that's the New Mexico State Plane Coordinate System. So we already kind of made it for you. So. So the next thing to do is just import that CSV file into our table so we can add some stuff to it. Actually, what if I go straight from the point CSV file and see if it works? Because I didn't even look at it. Let's just see. So I'm going to export the CSV file to a point feature class, just straight from that AutoCAD file, the CSV file we made in AutoCAD, to the points in ArcGIS, which would be nice.
No, that's CSV.
It might be in my folders, I don't have all these tabs.
Oh, do you have the catalog tab though?
Yeah.
So in your catalog, right, we're going to look for wherever you save that CSV file from AutoCAD, right? You didn't save the CSV, go back to AutoCAD and export those points. You exported the points, right, Garrett?
It's not showing up here.
Did you make sure it was a CSV file? Okay. You didn't have ArcGIS open first, though, did you?
No.
So you just opened it?
Yeah.
Should be in there. Are you sure you're in the right folder?
P8-5?
Okay, the only other reason why you might not see it is if it has like funky characters or spaces in your path in the folder file names or anything.
It's supposed to be in folders, what did we just say? Yes. CSV?
Yeah, if you can't find it in the catalog, let's use your Windows File Explorer and see if we can find it. And if it has any weird path names, we could fix it there. So let's look at that. That'll be our. Okay, so with that file, I'm going to right-click it and go right to export this from the CSV file, table to point feature class. We're going to set up the X, Y, and Z. Well, actually, we don't need the Z field for anything. So position X, position Y. Oh, you know what? I probably should have paid more attention to their spaces here in the file, in the field header. That's probably a bad idea, but let's just see what it does with it. I think it'll work, but I don't know. The coordinate system, however, is going to be, well, it'd be easier if I had the current map to the right one. So I'm going to change the coordinate system of the current map. It's in my favorites. It's right there, state plane, New Mexico. And then I can use current map. And there we go. And then Z field, nothing, just X and Y. That's all there is anyway. Environments, I'm going to set the same coordinate system and run it. And we should see some points in the map at this point. Get the point?
Yeah, I changed the X and Y field. Just run it now.
Yeah. There they are, all 81 points, I guess. Yeah, 81 points. And if I look at the attribute table, let's take a look. I'm a little nervous about. It allowed the spaces in the column. That might come back to bite us, but that's okay. And it has the elevation, right? So at this point, again, we're ready to interpolate. And this time also, remember last time we had a boundary? We drew the boundary, but this is totally square, so I don't think we need a boundary. Wouldn't that be nice? Did everybody get your points in the map? Did it work? Okay, I'm going to turn off the world topo and world hillshade just to have, you know, clarity here. Okay, next step, we're going to build the surface, right? We're going to interpolate all the points, which is, I mean, the brunt of the work, and then make the contour map from it, just like we did last time. So we're right in the same position we were in the last problem, where we had a bunch of points, we interpolated them. And again, I don't think we need a boundary for this to mask it, right? It's square already, so I don't think it's going to go outside of it. Let's see. So under analysis, tools, toolboxes, spatial analyst tools, interpolation. We'll try the IDW again, because that is basically interpolation. There's other methods, of course, but anyway, input point features. This is our, I forgot to name it something good. That's weird. Okay, Z value, elevation, right? Spatial analyst, tools, kind of alphabetized. And then under interpolation, yep, IDW. Input output raster, it's going into my geodatabase, and I'm going to make it P8-5 surf. How about that? Output cell size. Doesn't matter. Let it just figure it. I think we're good. We don't need a barrier or anything, so let's just environments, coordinate system again, current map, run it. Should get a nice colorful map. Oh, I put it in the favorites. Like once you type in 2259 for the search,
Yeah.
and then you click on it, and then there should be a little star on the right where you can add it to your favorites.
On the output actually, this is just P8-5, sir.
Well, you don't. You call it banana or whatever, right? It doesn't matter, but just because it's kind of a temporary thing, right?
Don't matter what you mean.
No, it doesn't. Because we're not even, we're going to use it, but not in our final product, right? We don't have to look for this file anywhere. So yeah, what you name it is less of interest than normal. But once we have this surface, go back to our toolbox and further down, surface, contour. This is our next tool. After, did everybody get that? Something that looks like this?
Nope.
Still running? Yours, did yours finish, Camry? And it looks like that? Okay. Yeah, and then contours further down the list, right? In the spatial analyst tool, still, you know, close up interpolation below that under surface, there's a contour tool. And now it's asking for a raster, right? The raster is our surface. And then the output feature class, this is going to be a line. So it's contour P8-5, I guess. What's the contour interval? Yeah, that's what the book says. So I guess we're going with that. And that's it. Oh, wait, not it. Current map coordinate system, you always have to remember that. So, and run it. The coordinate system, yep. And there are your 10-foot contour intervals, contour lines. Yeah. Did you get it? Don't forget to check the coordinate system, but yeah. Okay, we're nearly there, right? What do you do now? What should we be doing next? Turn it in. Yeah, there you go. Actually, you could put this back into AutoCAD if you wanted. Yeah, you can take that shape file or that and export it. Really, you could, with this selected, you go to Data, Export Features, and then you could say Output Feature Class. I think it's much easier just selecting the banks and then yeah, okay, let's talk about that. So anyway, yes, you can convert this data back to a DWG or DXF file, but we're not going to do that. What we are going to do is just symbolize them, right, based on their elevations and stuff, right? So 10-foot contours mean how do you tell if it's an index contour, right? Remember that question? So I'm going to open up the table of the contours. I just hold the control and double click on it. Control, double click on it, and it'll open up the table. But you can right click on it, and attribute table is what we're after. Okay. Yep, we're going to add a field, and this will be for like index. We'll call it index. Or end, I don't care, banana. Text. And we'll make it somewhat short, right? We can name them index and int or whatever, but that's kind of weird. I'm just going to go, what, 8? 8 in length is way enough, right? So save that. There is a save. When you add a field, you got to save it. So yeah, sure. Yep. It's up in the ribbon. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, they're all null right now, but we're going to select the ones, right? So an easy way to do this. Well, there's another way. You could like run a little program, a little if statement, and loop through them and set them up all in one step. But this is probably easier. We'll do that someday. Anyway, select by attributes, right? So select by attributes. Input rows, the contours. New expression where contour is what? Well, getting there. You're getting there. Yeah, and I can't really type that in there, so I'm going to click on SQL, and here's a hint. Remember mod? Remember mod? What does the mod function do? Hmm? If it's divisible by something, right, the mod gives you the remainder, right? It's called the modulus. And so it gives you the remainder of a number divided by something, right? So I put a comma, and what's my divisor, right? What? Yeah. How did Garrick know it was 50? There you go. Right? So every 5 contours, though, every 5 contour lines is an index one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if all if every line represents 10 feet, right? So it's actually 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, right? So every multiple of 50 is an index, yeah? So really, you could blindly think, you could try to memorize it or whatever, 5 times the contour interval every time, right? Because that's what it is, every 5 contour lines.
Oh, okay. So I was having trouble with that. So
Yeah.
Sorry, I was looking at this.
That was good though. I liked it. Okay, so if I did take the contour, which is our elevation, and I divide it by 50, and I should get 0, no remainder, in other words, right? So any other number, 630 divided by 50, it's not going to come out with a remainder of 0, right? So it's only going to select, let's just run it. Right? Look what it's doing, 550, 600, 450, 400. See? So Noah was right. Sorry. So we're going to calculate. So now that we have this field selected, we can calculate the field, and we can just type in, we're going to type in right in here and double in quotes, single or double actually, we can type in index and then run it. And it'll only populate the selected ones, right? It only calculates what's selected. That could be, that's nice now, but if you have something you don't realize is selected and then you run it and it doesn't work because you only ran it on one thing or whatever. Yeah. Oh, is there one?
No.
Oh, that, yeah. Actually, I just right-click the column and calculate. Yeah, not geometry, just the field. But yes, it is the same thing. But then you got to pick which field you're going to calculate based on. So, yeah, there you go. Yeah, we want to populate the index field or column based on what the contour is. So That's the power in this GIS where you got a table to work with. So it's cool, I think. Yep, there's the switch button. Those are all the other ones, right? And so I'm just going to change this from index to int and run it. There we go. So now I can close this. This is good. We're done. We're not done, but now we can use symbology to make the index ones thicker and label them too. We'll label them not with symbology, but we'll label them. Symbology, unique values. Say what? Oh, optical illusion. Anyway, I'm going to symbolize them based on int in, or my index field. It helps, yeah. Clear the selection. You can clear in the map ribbon. There's a clear button also. Unique values, and then I'm going to change my field to the index field, or banana field, or whatever. I should have put sugarcane field. Anyway, now I have two. See, well, actually, I have three, and I want to get rid of all other values because I know there aren't any other values. So that's useful. So right-click on that, remove it.
What is it? Autocad automatically do that?
Just, I don't know. It's just the way it's written, the way the programmers put it. Okay. So yeah, you gotta just right-click on the label and you can remove, right? I'm not gonna remove these, but so I'm gonna click on. So I'm gonna click on index. Index are the thick ones. They should be thick and black. So properties, change that to black. And do you remember how big we made it? 8 points. Go ahead and try it. Might be a little thick, but anyway. And then I'm going to make the intermediate ones thin, 0.7. And not as black. I guess, I don't know if that's even necessary, but I think it looks cool that way. So there you go. It's almost done. We need to symbolize the points and label the lines. Same way we did before. Also the points. And click on the point here. So, you know, if I look at the gallery, I don't see a lot of point markers that look very good. I mean, that triangle might be okay, I guess. But I kind of just want like this cross. I don't know, does that cross look good? It's kind of big. Let's look at its properties. Could change it to not as dark of a gray. And its size, you know, maybe 1/10 of an inch, so 7.2 points is 1/10 of an inch. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm going to rotate them 45 degrees. How about that? That's a nice little X. There, I like it. So the first thing I did was I picked this little cross 4. So it's just kind of a single line cross. And then I went to its properties and I changed its size, its color, and its angle. So now we have this little X instead of a cross. So nice little, and those are typically what you see in a topo map is those little X's for your, I think they're brown, right? They might actually be black. Oh, for the contours, yeah. So I'll go back to contour, and I'll go to labeling. And I'm going to do an SQL because I don't want to label all of them, right? Just the index ones. So new expression where int end is equal to index and apply. And I,
Create new expression in SQL.
yeah. See under labeling, there's that SQL button. Then I'll go to the text symbol, click on its properties, go to Halo.
Your X is bigger than the size is it 7.2?
Yeah.
Index is equal to
Yeah, that's it.
index. Index is equal to index.
Yeah. Sure.
Is that right?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe that'll work. Halo size. I'm going to up the halo size a little bit. That looks better. That looks totally great. I think we're ready for printing. Laying it out.
Let's get all those numbers that your key sheet.
Okay, let's figure out the scale. So we'll what? Insert a new layout. It's square, so it kind of doesn't matter if it's landscape or portrait, so I'm going to pick portrait. All right. There we go. What's the scale just like this? Like it's not going to be the right scale, obviously, maybe obviously, but at this point, what do you do? How do you figure out a good scale?
So the original scale that I had was 1 inch to 1 inch.
Oh, is that what it said?
Yeah.
Okay, let's try that. 1 inch is 100 feet. So what kind of scale do I need to put down here for that? Yeah, okay. So do you think it'll fit? What's your scale now? Yeah, if you put it at 1,000, what's going to happen? It's going to zoom in a lot, right? So it's not going to fit. So what's up with the book? However, if we keep reading, it says on an architectural C size sheet. So maybe 1 to 12, like one inch is 100 feet would fit on it. Let's see. Let's insert a new layout. Let's go architectural C.
Is that one of those blue things?
Yeah, we could print it out like this. So I'm going to insert the map frame and just get there. Nice big old there. I still don't think it'll fit. So this is 18 by 24. And the thing, you know, this is 1,200 feet across. This square, this grid is 1,200 by 1,200. So if 1 inch is equal to, yeah, that should work. Let's try it. Still not fitting. Oh, I know why. I know why. Let's measure the distance. Let's go back to the map. This is a problem. Let's measure the map. Where's my measure tool here? Measure. Let's go between 2 points. Click, and there. 425 feet. Where'd they get that? It's only supposed to be 150 feet. It's 4 times too big. What's going on? Well, okay, it is because we started in AutoCAD and I don't know. Let's open up AutoCAD. Let's open up this file again and see what's going on with these points. And let's measure the distance between points in AutoCAD. We kind of assumed, anyway, that the points were 150 feet apart because right? Is it inches? Here's the problem. Well, I don't know. Inches, 425 inches is only like 4 feet, 40 feet, right? Instead of 150. See, the thing says it's 1,200 feet across. Each grid's 150 feet. So one thing that we could do, yeah, 425 feet apart. It's not scaled correctly, is it? That stinks. Okay, so how do you fix it? Yeah. Scale it. Yeah. Okay, so probably the easiest thing to do is what Noah said. Since we're not putting any other base map data on it, we can just scale the print job, right? But the data is wrong. So the better thing to do would be to actually scale the data down. Now, it's easiest to do in AutoCAD, but you can do it in ArcGIS as well. But what I'm going to do is I would take this number, right? So let's measure the distance between these 2 points. Write it down. 425.4566368. Okay, close it. That's it. So that's supposed to be, where's my calculator? I should have just copied and pasted it, huh? Okay. That's supposed to be 100 feet, right? So 150, I mean. So 150 feet divided by the 425.4566368. So I actually need to scale it down by this number, right? Oh, I'm going to flip this over. Wait, that needs to be this number. So that's the reciprocal of it. And I'm going to take this number and I'm going to multiply it by, we want it to be on the C-size paper at 1 to whatever. 1 inch is 100 feet, right? So really, if we multiply this by 100, and then multiply that by 12, that's the number we should be using, right? So I'm going to edit, copy this number, go back to here, and I'm going to paste it in here. Oh, go to layout 1. This is my C-size sheet of paper, right? So I'm going to paste that number in here. There. Now it fits on the C-size sheet of paper. And that is 1 inch is 100 feet. Like then if I print this out and I measure on my scale, it'll measure 150 feet between points and stuff. But we want to go with, you know, I don't know. We could do the C size. Do you want to do the C size or the A size? I had to use this number because that number is the 425 divided by 150 times 12 times 100 because we wanted 1 inch is 100 feet. Okay. So if this is 1 inch is 100 feet, right? Instead of 1200, it's 3400. What if I wanted it to be, well, it's 1200 across, right? So I would have to go 1 to 200, right? So can't I just double this number? Times 2. I'll copy that. Then I'll come back to my layout 1, and I'm going to use that number. There. So now I can print it on my A-size piece of paper. 1 inch is 200 feet with this scale, and I'll be happy enough.
Does the scale give to your decimal or
Yeah, I don't know.
because I'm just typing in the number?
Well,
Is that
I don't know if it lets you put the, I mean, it doesn't show it, so how do you even know, right? Yeah, it doesn't, yeah, it doesn't, I don't think it does.
Still says, because I just typed in 6807,
Hmm.
and then again, I press enter, and then I press the whole number of the decimals.
Okay. Good. Good test. All right, so we'll just activate. I'll scoot this up. We can stick a bunch of that stuff on the side. Oh, do we want to label the elevation?
Yeah.
I'll make those small. Well, yeah. Let's put in all the marginalia stuff, like the north arrow. This little north arrow here. What else? Just dynamic text. This will be tougher. Scale. And that's not going to tell us the right scale. So I'm going to have to well, just manually type it in. Scale 1, 2. And then I can do relative scale, and I still have to change it. Well, at this point, I can just take that guy out, delete it. All right, so north arrow and scale is the big things, and then your name and date. Coordinate system information, spatial reference. Make that real small text because it doesn't fit. Yeah. Haven't seen it in a long time though. Let's go with 7.2. Looks like it.
What,
I don't know. Let's see. Probably a good 20-point font should work.
oh, for
Oh. Um, I use 7.2, so that's 1/10 of an inch. Yeah, it works out all right. Still need more height here. All right. Well, add your name and date and the other stuff, and that's pretty much it for this chapter. There's a couple other things. Maybe we'll get back to it. Want to hit chapter 9? Maybe.
So for the old simple graph machine, was it simply for this book? Who used that? That's Autocad.
Either, well, we had an adjunct do it for a while. Depends on, we're kind of switching it up. I taught it a couple semesters ago, or actually last year, or maybe it didn't make. Okay, so as here's bonus round, right? We're gonna talk about using symbols in AutoCAD, right? We made our own line types and stuff, but also let's just I'll use the circle here. And let's say I want to fill this circle with a hatch pattern, right? So I'll just use my hatch layer. And you can just use B8 or whatever, and you know how to do that. But what if there's a pattern that you want to use that's not in that list? Then you're kind of screwed, right? Or whatever. Let's say I want to make one of my own. So I'll just zoom in and I'll draw the pattern that I want. Let's say I'll just use the spline command because it's fun. And I'll use yeah, this is going to be a grass pattern, right? A little clump of grass. One more. One more. Something like that. Okay. This is the pattern that I want to use, right? I guess. So I'm going to make a block out of it. It's a little easier. So just block. And we'll name it grassy knoll. It's a little grandiose for that little thing, but I'll pick my point. Just down there in the middle. And I'll not delete them, just convert them to a block. I don't have to worry about annotative or anything. I'll just okay. There's my grassy knoll block. Okay, now I'm gonna type in super for super hatch. And I'll use, this is cool. If you take a look at what the dialog gives you, you can use an image, you can use a block, an XREF. I don't even know what a whitepad is, I've never used it. But anyway, select existing. So I'm gonna use block. And I'm gonna use my grassy knoll, and okay. So there it is. And it says insertion point. Well, I'll just put it right at the center. That's good. And then you can scale it in the X and the Y direction, right? So I'm just going to go with 1 each side. So 1 and 1. Rotation, that's cool too. We can slightly rotate or whatever, but I'm just going to put 0. And then, okay. And then, is the placement of this block acceptable? Yeah, okay, fine. And then it puts a magenta rectangle around the thing. And this time, that's basically, it's going to put the next one right next to it. It's going to block it. It's going to fill the area with a block that size. Well, I think I want it a little bit, you know, bigger, right? So I have more space between. So maybe I'll just do that. Just kind of randomly, okay. Okay, and then I pick an internal point. So I'll click inside the circle and enter. May take a minute, especially the splines, and there it goes. Fills it with that pattern. See, just like the BH, but a little bit more, more work. There I go. Now, if you wanted it to be a little nicer, what?
You create a block with a superhead.
Yeah, using that block. Okay, let's use, what do you call those things? Emojis? Let's just look for emojis here, images. Are there any Valentine's one? I mean, what was last, let's just use that one. And then I'm gonna save that link as, nope. I'm gonna open image in new tab. There it is, and save image. And okay, that's good enough. I'll put it in my downloads folder, that's fine. Okay, close it. All right, let's import that sucker in here. Let's insert, what do we do, attach? Yeah. So I'm gonna put this thing in my libraries, documents, history. Where are the, fine. Downloads, where's my downloads? Oh, I gotta pick my name. Downloads, there it is. Yeah, I'll put it right here. I'll make it about that size. Okay. Now, super. Oh, let me delete this hatch. And then super. Should have picked one with a white background, huh? Anyway, image. And then, oh, I guess you didn't have to have it in there. Well, and then there, and then I'll just sign it there. And yeah, that's good. And internal point, click in here, enter. And are you sure you want to do this? Not really, but okay. It's going to take a little longer, maybe. Oh, maybe it thought I didn't click inside the circle. Oh, there it goes. Okay, there you go. So now I filled my circle with these nice emojis. Wow, it really slows the machine down. Okay, let's delete that. One more. You got time. Take that guy out. Let's be a little smarter with this. How about I'm going to make another one to draw, but I'm going to make it tileable. So, okay. How about PL? Let's go with 1/2 inch. Just depends on, because you end up being able to scale it anyway. Okay, so here's my square. I'm going to use this square to make my drawing tileable. I'll just use lines. So I'm going to draw a line, just going around. Okay, that's probably enough. Okay, and then let's I'd like to trim that out, but before I do, I want to make it tileable, right? So so let's select, yeah, actually, I'm going to just select this line and I'll join it together. So now it's all just one line. That'll make it easier. Okay, so if I'm going to stack this, if I trim out all the lines outside this square, then I want to make sure that what's above it, like this line crossing the border, that it continues down at the bottom, right? So I use my cursor and it should be down here. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to make some copies. And I'm going to copy it from the top of the square down to the bottom of the square. And then I'm going to take it again, and that basically matches everything that hit from top to bottom, and then I'm going to go from side to side. So this won't be very pretty. Straight across, perpendicular snap, there. So now, if I trim all this stuff off, trim, and I'll just go around the, there I go. And just delete this other stuff. Something like that, delete it. There, this thing's tileable, meaning if I make a block out of all this, so I'll delete the square. This pattern right here is tileable now. So I'm going to make a block out of it. I'll call it tile 1. And insert pick point. The lower right, doesn't matter, as long as it's close. Okay, there we go. Okay, super. Block, tile 1. Okay, there I go. Put it in the center. Scale it 1 to 1. Angle 0. Yes, that's acceptable. Magenta rectangle. Now this is important not to mess with this magenta rectangle because that's just the extent of this. That's what makes it tileable. So, okay, and then pick an internal point. Enter. Yeah, it's a lot of lines, buddy. You want to do this? Okay. There you go. And see, it totally tiles, and you can't tell that it doesn't. Like, I mean, that wasn't a great pattern, but I mean, you can see the repetitions just because it's.
So with the image, that would break the photo first.
Yeah, definitely. Try another one. Something better. Let's try 1/2 inch again. Since I have so much more time. Let's just do like a zigzag or something. A little less obnoxious. And then I'll just make sure it exits at the same. If I can. Yeah, I don't think it made it, but I will try it again. Let's do another zigzaggy line over here. Start down this time. All right, close enough. Okay. Now, since these lines don't match, I could certainly just make it match. There's that one matching. Let's move this over. Make sure your snaps don't mess you up. Just grip edit to the intersections. Okay, so now I have the two vertical ones matching. And I just need to make a horizontal one to match. It's easier to do that. There. And then this guy. Okay, so I have two on the left, two on the right, and they all match. So that should totally tile, right? There. And I can take away the block, make a block out of it, take away the square, make a block. So this will be tile 2. Insert pick point. Let's pick that point. And okay. Okay, now I'm going to super hatch this one. Block tile 2. Insertion point somewhere in there. 1, 1. No rotation. Yes, it's acceptable. Yes, that's okay. Click an internal point. Yes, yes. Now I have this repeating pattern and there's no problem with that. Okay, cool enough.